covers the NBA at Keith Smith NBA as the NBA draft tomorrow night right here on 97.3 ESPN. But we got a lot of free agency. There's a lot of rumors going on out there. And, of course, all the stuff with Kawhi Leonard. I think if you're Kawhi Leonard right now, Keith, I wonder how you feel about this, but do you think that the Spurs are backed into a corner, or do you think that Kawhi Leonard has, in fact, now put himself in the corner?
Yeah, that's tough. I think it's probably a little bit more the Spurs. If all these reports are to believe, he does not want to be there. And then that puts it in a position where the Spurs need to trade him. But if it's also to be believed that he's just going to tell teams, hey, next year I'm just going to the Lakers anyway, well, then that means the Spurs aren't going to get the offers they want. So this puts them in a really difficult spot to recoup value for a guy if when he's healthy, he's a top 2 or 3 player in the entire league. To get fair value for him, it's probably just not going to happen.
Right. I mean, at this point, I get what you're saying, that they're in a tough spot, but they don't have to blink, right? They could say, we're not going to trade you. You could sit out the whole year for all we care. Then you're in the point where, all right, well, then you're going to get nothing for him. But if you're just getting offered pennies on the dollar anyway, why not just let him make him sit out again?
Yeah, I don't think it'll get to that point. That's generally when you start to see other factors get involved, because nobody wants to see guys just sit out entire seasons from either the Players Association or from the league itself or the teams, the individuals. So hopefully cooler heads prevail before we get to that point. So I think if that's where we get to, what you're going to end up ultimately seeing is the Spurs will take the best offer they can get and move on and just say, we're done with this. Let's just get things moving in a different direction.
Keith Smith NBA on Twitter. You tweeted out that one executive said that they think Ayton is going first, but after that, who knows? What are some of the things that could happen at number 2 with the Kings?
Yeah, I'd be prepared for anything, including the way they run their franchise. Maybe they just missed the pick entirely. But I would say, what you're probably looking at is, there are folks who believe that them saying anything about not wanting to take Luka Doncic is not true. That's their guy. They're dialed in on him. There's about half the teams or so that I've talked to that believe that. Then the rest think it could be Marvin Bagley. There are some folks who believe the Michael Porter Jr. stuff is there. And then there's a handful of folks who very much believe that they're open for business and they're willing to move that pick and get, more picks later in this draft or down the line in the future, because they are seeing it as maybe one guy is not enough to get this done. We might need to get a handful of players in place here. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Really, it's rare that at number 2 is where a draft has a pivot point, but that seems to be where we're at for tomorrow night.
Yeah, and not only at number 2, but how about right behind them with the Hawks and Memphis? It seems that, Atlanta's interested in, moving, and potentially Memphis doesn't seem like a destination that too many players are all that excited about going to. So those 2 places at 3 and 4 could also turn out to be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. What's going on with the Hawks is the Hawks have a lot of holes. They may have more holes than any other team in the NBA, and it was by design. That's what they wanted to do. They really tore that thing down to the studs. They're very willing to move out their veteran guys like Dennis Schroeder. If they can recoup any sort of value for him, they're happy to move on and then just build this thing up from the ground up with kids. And there's a lot of different guys rumored to them. The same kind of guys: Marvin Bagley, Trae Young's name is even popped up there. It probably seems a little early, as well as Luka Doncic there as well. And then you've got Memphis, and they're in the situation of, they've had a couple guys say, I don't want to be there. So they're also rumored to be, hey, if we can get off Chandler Parsons' deal, we'll give you 4. If one of these teams a little later in the lottery will take him on to move up to 4. And then there's been rumored that if Doncic is there, that's their guy, and they're just going to draft him. So it's going to be really kind of interesting to see. I made the comment earlier today that if you went back, the Draft Express guys who are now with ESPN, they've had a great track record. I think they hit on the first 11 picks last year. If they pulled out this year, never done them again. That's just how crazy this draft is going to be.
Sure is. And then obviously you have a team like here in Philadelphia with the Sixers at number 10, who there's been a lot of talk, Keith, about them wanting to move up. If they were to move up, what guys would you anticipate they'd be targeting? Because I'm having a hard time finding guys in the top 5 that I would be really excited about if the Sixers moved up for.
Yeah, the only thing that seems to make sense to me that they would move up for would be Doncic. If he starts to slide towards like that 3, 4, 5 range, then I think maybe they push in to go get him, because a big doesn't make a lot of sense. You've got Joel Embiid there, you've got Dario Saric, you've got Ben Simmons who can play up at that position. You're more than covered there. In the guards, there's just not. They could probably sit at 10 and maybe still get one of those guards. So it only makes sense for me if it was Luka Doncic. And at that point, you start to wonder, geez, is he really going to slide that far that it would make sense for Philly to go up? And then what's it going to cost to get there?
What is the possibility in your mind that Kawhi Leonard is a Spur tomorrow night post-draft?
I think it's pretty good. I don't think he's going to get dealt before the draft. I think it's too hard to put all those pieces together as far as matching salary and getting things in the right place, especially if the Lakers had a lottery pick. I'd say maybe it's better if they were willing to move off it, but they don't have a pick until very late in the first round, so it's very unlikely that's going to be. Maybe the Clippers get involved there, and they're doing something. They have both the 12th and 13th picks, so maybe they could do something, but I don't think it's very likely. I think Leonard will be there, and then I think you're looking at one of those, post-July 1 trades finally gets worked out, because I don't think he'll be a Spur to start next season.
What about Cleveland? Keep an eye on them tomorrow night. They're at number 8. I mean, how interesting will it be when they come up and figuring out, if you're Cleveland, what the heck is your plan tomorrow night? Because obviously this is very secondary to them this offseason. But it's not. I say it's secondary because it's LeBron James. But in any other year, you're a team that went to the finals that has the 8th pick of the draft. This would be monumental.
Yeah, absolutely, but it doesn't matter if LeBron James isn't there. Well, I mean, it matters in the sense of you're rebuilding then. So I would look at what they do. If they take Trae Young or Colin Sexton, to me, that indicates more so that they think LeBron's leaving than anything else, because those guys are probably going to take more time than any other player to be ready. It's just that's how it is with point guards. They usually take 2 or 3 years at the quickest development curve to be ready to be productive players. So if they go with a big or a wing, then maybe it's a little more likely they think LeBron might be coming back. But they need to just probably make the best move for themselves, independent of whatever's going on with LeBron, because you can't count on having him back in the fold next season.
Give me a guy or two, Keith Smith, that you like in the draft that you might say, a couple of years from now, why did that guy go here?
Yeah, Wendell Carter is one of the guys. Now, there's a lot of buzz building that he may end up in the top 5. That happens, obviously, then that probably goes out the window a little bit. But if he's drafted more in the 7, 8, 9, 10 range, that's a guy I think we're all going to look at it, 5, 6 years from now and be like, how did this guy slip, to the middle half of the lottery? He's just that good. He's very much a modern big man. He can step out and shoot the ball better than a lot of people realize. He can move the ball as far as being a good passer, and then he's a good scorer and rebounder inside and a pretty good defender. So he's one of them. Then if you really want to go late in the draft, towards the late first round, early second round, this kid Bruce Brown out of Miami, he's a guy who really looked like he might be a lottery pick after his freshman season, chose to go back to Miami, suffered a foot injury, and really had a down sophomore year. But he's got good size for the guard position. He's about 6'4", 6'5", can play both spots, can really handle the ball, pass it, really tough, gets after it defensively. So that's a guy I really like, and I think he projects to be a player who, when you look at it, when he's 10th, 11th year of his career, might be like, wow, this guy went that late in the first round, but here he is still hanging around.
Do you like what the Nets did today?
Yeah, I do. I think the Nets made a good, solid move because they got off money for next summer, and they're going to be right in the mix. They can have enough money to go after 2 max free agents, maybe a little bit of money left over. They could, if Dwight Howard gets his head on straight and has a solid year, they could flip him again this season, which is always a good thing. They could recoup those assets they traded. Really, all they gave up was a couple seconds, because Howard, no matter what you think of him, he's better than Timofey Mozgov at this point. So I really think that was a good, solid move for the Nets, both now and for down the line, planning for next year.
Good stuff. Keith Smith at Keith Smith NBA at Real GM. You can check out all of his NBA front office stuff. And, of course, the draft tomorrow night. You can hear it right here on 97.3 ESPN. And then shortly thereafter, all these guys will be in Orlando or Vegas. Vegas is where the Summer League is exclusively this year?
Yeah, just like Las Vegas, the Orlando, as an Orlando native, the Orlando Summer League is over. So there's a short one in Utah, a short one in Sacramento in the first week of July over July 4th, and then the big deal kicks off on July 6th in Las Vegas with all 30 teams for the first time.
Every team going to be in Vegas for the Summer League this year. Keith Smith, thanks, pal.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.